year, new grind. I got a question for you. Are you living life, or is life living you? How bad do you want to be successful? Are you ready to level up in life? Are you ready to go to that next level? Are you sick of being average? I ask you again, are you living life, or is life living you? Less than unstoppable, the international world tour. Dr. Billy Alsbrooks, coming to a city near you. I'll be teaching a 4-hour, life-changing seminar on the art of greatness. Arise, champion. Every city will sell out. Get your tickets now. This year we're taking this thing global. 27 cities, Toronto, London, Paris, Rome. We're coming to impact 1 billion people. If you are serious about success, be at one of these events. Get your tickets now at blessedandunstoppable.com. I will not be held hostage, waiting on people to open the door for me. I will get up and grind, create my own door, and put myself on, because I am a champion. I am hungry, dedicated, fearless, a warrior of God who believes all things are possible to him that believeth. I am disciplined. I am committed. I am dedicated, young, rich, and motivated, completely sold out, all in, 120, committed to fulfilling my God-given destiny. Nothing can stop me because I am blessed and unstoppable. And I don't just say these words out of my mouth. I say them from my spirit, the champion spirit that's on the inside of me. Mediocrity has no place in me. Average is not welcomed here. I am going one place and one place only. I got a one-way ticket from the bottom to the top. And I don't say this for fame. I don't say this for money. I don't say this for validation. I'm doing this for legacy. When I'm dead and gone, they will say there is a man right there who lived on this earth, who gave it everything he had. Failure is not an option for me. Failure does not exist in my vocabulary. For 8 years, I walked the block in a mental prison, searching for answers. Panic attacks, PTSD, fear, and anxiety consumed me. But here's what was really going on. God was molding and shaping me and preparing me for this calling. He was preparing me for the words that I'm saying to you right now. You see, the more we go through the fire, the more refined we become. Now fear and pain had stung me, had inflicted me, had tried to stomp out my destiny. But God is faithful, and He did what He promised. For He said to me, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. And you see, I was bold enough to believe that. And when I went around that block for those 8 years, every day I got a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher, and a whole lot bolder. And now I am prepared for my calling. And I get behind this mic with no fear to tell you that I am still here. The enemy has not defeated me. He has not destroyed me. He He has actually made me. I am a champion. I am a warrior. I am hungry, dedicated, and now I'm fearless. Wrapped with grace. To the enemy, I'm dangerous. It's not about goals. For me, it's about purpose, legacy. I'm anchored in grace. God still moves. I am a warrior, blessed and unstoppable. To God be the glory. Truth is the new black, the couture for greatness. Get your t-shirts now at blessedandunstoppable.com. Join the movement. From the moment you open your eyes, you gotta set the tone for the day. And the first question you need to ask yourself is, what am I gonna do to get better today? You see, the great Lao Tzu said, mastering others is strength, but mastering yourself is true power. Now understand this. What you do consistently, you will eventually become. Therefore, your first objective on the road to success is to master and conquer yourself. One by one, you must overcome the daily temptations to stand in the way of your dreams. Now I want you to understand, you have greatness in you. God put it there. But the only way you'll ever be able to access it is by going through the gates of self-discipline. You can't outsource self-discipline, self-control, self-mastery. You gotta stop blaming everybody else for your own shortcomings. If you wanna make progress, you must address what I'm telling you right now. Now, discipline starts in the mind. It's rooted in your why and ultimately determines whether your dream lives or dies. Now let's go to the word. He that haveth no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. You see, the less discipline you have, the more vulnerable you are. And what you don't master will eventually master you. Most people spend all their time and focus on the external aspects of success and never address the internal mechanics that actually produce it. Your grind, your work ethic, that's your plane ticket up out of here. That's your only way out of mediocrity. Greatness can only be purchased with the currency of hard work. Now let's go back to my last message. Stop leasing success and own it. And what I mean by that, see, on Monday, a lot of you out there, you're doing everything it takes. You're hitting it hard. You're going all in, 100, 120. On Tuesday, you're doing the same thing. You're going all in. You're doing whatever it takes. And then Wednesday comes, and your discipline breaks down. And you give it all back. All the gains you made on Monday and Tuesday, you get back on Wednesday. Now Monday and Tuesday, you was driving a Bugatti. But the only problem with that is it was a rental car. And on Wednesday, you returned that thing. So what I'm trying to get across to you is, success requires discipline. 24/7, 365. It means going 120 all out every day, no excuses. It's that simple. You got two choices you can make. Embrace discipline or accept defeat. Simple as that. Now, many of you walking around out there like you got all the time in the world. But here's the truth. You don't get a second chance at this. You don't get a second chance, I'm telling you. It's up to you. Success avoids the undisciplined like the plague. So it's time for you to arise, great warrior, and go be the person God made you to be. Now, all of you out there with just average talent, self-discipline is the great equalizer. Hard work, discipline, That's the membership fee that filters out the weak from the strong, the losers from the champions, the average nobodies from the legends. Which one you want to be? Dear doubters, even before the moment of my conception, the enemy has attempted to use you to derail my destiny, to murder my dreams, and to rob me of my testimony. Your whispers, your doubt, your statements of unbelief were initiated to create hesitation in my actions, to distract me from God's plan for my life, to blind me from the unstoppable power God placed on the inside of me. In my most vulnerable moments, in my times of weakness, you have attempted to sow your seeds of failure into my beautiful garden of dreams. Like a thief at night, planting weeds of fear to choke and smother the life out of each and every one of my grand ambitions. With your tone of sarcasm, you have told me I am undeserving, unqualified, and incapable of climbing the mountain of greatness. You have wrongly accused me, put me on trial, and cast false witness, told me lies, and betrayed me in order to convict me of a life of mediocrity for the selfish reasons of not wanting to be alone. You worship the God of complacency, the King of pessimism, and the Lord of everything average. But on this day, I declare war on your father, the prince who came to rob, kill, and destroy, who gave you a mouth full of doubt to use it against me. I make these statements loud and proud on the biggest stage of life so that all can bear witness to what's to come. My mouth is a creative device designed to call forth the fruit of truth. I yield to the spirit of heaven, and I set forth my victory with the words of fire. With my faith, I confuse the enemy, who's so used to passive soldiers who roll over and submit to the smallest level of opposition, who collapse under struggle and quit as soon as the first spiritual shots are fired. Hello, enemy. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Champion, last name Greatness, married to consistency, born with a purpose, functioning inside the center of my calling. I'm hungry, dedicated, and fearless because I got a why that will allow me to run through walls with it. I have self-awareness because I get in the presence of God every day. Defeat and failure are no match for the one whose faith is unwavering. I got a PhD in moving mountains because of your rebellion against what has been ordained. I will set my goals even higher. I will wrap every second of my existence in pure self-discipline. I could see my awesome dream so vivid in my mind that its manifestation is inevitable. Nothing can stop me from achieving what you say is unachievable. When I am finished, they will no longer say the impossible is impossible. I will align my mind, thoughts, and actions with the God to which all things truly bow, and not just say nor declare, but to exemplify and prove the infallible word of God, which says, with him all things are possible. I yearn and burn to experience every ounce of greatness to be experienced. I will push myself to the edge. Then I will redefine where the edge is. I will go further, deeper, longer, and with more intensity to that holy place, that promised land the heavens call victory. My actions will be my volume, and I will turn up till they hear me. Lord Father, I intercede on behalf of the doubters. Forgive them for they know not what they do. I'm Billy Alsbrooks, to God be the glory. Champions have flaws, weaknesses, and struggles just like everybody else. But what separates them from the rest is that they find a way to overcome them. Be yourself, grind. Don't worry about what others say. It's a marathon, grind city every day. Be yourself, work. Don't worry about what others do. Set yourself on fire, ain't no stopping you. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Fearless. I see that champion in your eyes. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Grind city. Like legends we rise. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Fearless. I see that champion in your eyes. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Grind city. Like legends we rise. I got a question for you. What does it take to break you? What does it take for you to give up? See, your spiritual enemy is asking that question all day long. I'm not Lionel Richie, and I'm not gonna get behind this mic and tell you that life is gonna be easy like a Sunday morning, cause it's not. It's gonna be a struggle. The struggle is real, but so is the God that would deliver you. So I ask you again, what does it take to break you? What does it take before you give up? Before you lay down, before you stay on that mat? I don't think anybody should be called a champion until they first been beaten. Because when you've been beaten, then we find out what you really are. Anybody can keep going when everything is all good. Even quitters can do that. We call them front runners. They all good when they're out ahead. But let them get behind, then we're gonna see what they really made of. See, when you get behind in the game, when you down 14 points, and you on the national stage, how will you respond? How will you answer the bell? Champions don't bow to obstacles, they make obstacles bow to them. Get up! Be yourself, grind. Don't worry about what others say. It's a marathon, grind city every day. Be yourself, work. Don't worry about what others do. Set yourself on fire, ain't no stopping you. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Fearless. I see that champion in your eyes. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Grind city. Like legends we rise. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Fearless. I see that champion in your eyes. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Grind city. Like legends we rise. What does it take to break you? What does the enemy have to do to make you give up? Victory starts on the inside. You gotta become on the inside bigger than your problem on the outside. Don't you give up. You gotta think like a champion. Speak like a champion. Train like a champion. And when life hits you with a brick, you gotta respond like a champion. I ask you again, what does it take to break you? What does it take to make you give up? What you think is the problem is not the real problem. Your problem is amnesia. That's right, amnesia. You done forgot who you are. You are a champion. And when you reawaken to who you are, that little problem you think is a problem, let me say it again. That little problem that you think is a problem will melt before your eyes like ice cream on a hot summer day. Success requires embracing the uncertainty. See, it's natural to want to run from trials and tribulations, to run from struggle, to run from the tough times. But it's these moments that define you. They become the steel, the concrete, and the building blocks of real success. There can't be no testimony without first having a test. Arise, champion! Be yourself, grind. Don't worry about what others say. It's a marathon, grind city every day. Be yourself, work. Don't worry about what others do. Set yourself on fire, ain't no stopping you. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Fearless. I see that champion in your eyes. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Grind city. Like legends we rise. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Fearless. I see that champion in your eyes. Overcome, overcome, overcome. Grind city. Like legends we rise. What does it take to break you? What does it take to make you give up? Are you bigger than your circumstance, or is your circumstance bigger than you? Look at here, warrior. We arise on the wings of unwavering faith. You gotta believe. I know it's hard. I know you're in the desert right now and you don't see any fruit. You don't see anything happening. generations. Now to inherit the promised land, to walk in the victory, to overcome. Here's the key. You gotta master the art of blindness. You gotta go blind with your physical eyes and see the prize with your champion mind. It's only a matter of time. Victory yourself.
Grind. Don't worry about what others say. It's a marathon, grind city every day. Be yourself. Don't worry about what others do. Set yourself on fire. Ain't no stopping you. Overcome, overcome, overcome.
Fearless.
I see that champion in your eyes. Overcome, overcome, overcome.
Grass City.
Like legends we rise. Overcome, overcome, overcome.
Fearless.
I see that champion in your eyes. Overcome, overcome, overcome.
Grass City.
Like legends we rise.
There was a child that decided to see everything that was real as imaginary and everything imaginary as real. And when he grew up, he continued to live this way until he owned the world and everything in it. This is Billy Alsbrooks, and I am blessed and unstoppable. To God be the glory. B7U, yeah. Ride City, all day, light of fluid. Child, don't you ever forget who you are. You an overcomer, blessed and unstoppable. Truth is the new black, the couture for greatness. Get your t-shirts now at blessedandunstoppable.com. Join the movement. The day after my dad died, we went over to the funeral home to make the arrangements. And the funeral director asked me, "What do you want to put on your dad's headstone? What's the wording?" He asked, "What do you want to put in the obituary that's gonna go in the paper?" I didn't have any clue of what kind of funeral my dad wanted. We never talked about this kind of stuff. But inside making these arrangements was the last gift and the most precious one that my dad ever gave me. You see, I came to realize in that moment that I too was gonna die. And then somebody would be asking what to put on my headstone, what to put in my obituary. I mean, I had heard it all before, all the quotes. Life is short, life is precious. Live life to the fullest. Live every day like it's your last, cause one day it will be. But up until then, all that stuff was just quotes in a book. I had no understanding, no revelation, no comprehension of what they were saying until that moment at that funeral home. Then I understood life is precious. At the wake, people got up and talked about how my dad had impacted their life. Story after story after story of how my dad changed their life. One said he helped him get off drugs. Another one said he helped him overcome alcohol. Another one said he came and bailed him out of jail when he got picked up for a DUI. Another one said he came and got me on the side of the road at 2:30 a.m. in the morning when no one else would come. Another one said he taught all my sons how to play the guitar. And now they're all writing songs and playing at church. But the one thing nobody spoke about at the funeral was money. See, I'd been in the music business for the last 17 years. And all I had been chasing was money, fame, and the lust of the flesh. And not one of them mentioned any of the things that I've been chasing. And that shook me to the core. See, I had all my priorities wrong. Now, I'm not saying money's not important, that it doesn't play a role. But it just gotta be in the right order. Right there on that gravesite, I realized life was about legacy. As they lowered my dad down in that red clay mud, in that Alabama soil, I had the biggest revelation of my life. ask myself, what do I want to be known for? What do I want them saying at my wake? What do I want them thinking when they lower me in this ground? See, I was embarrassed because if I had died right then and they'd been putting together my obituary, I'd have been so ashamed of what they put in there. Sometimes we need an event like what I went through in order to see ourselves for what we really are. My dad wasn't vocal, but I knew he loved me. And my whole music career, I'd been using a stage name. But I buried it that day with my daddy, and I decided to build my legacy around the name that he gave me. And the way he died unexpectedly taught me that tomorrow isn't promised. So you don't know how long you're gonna be here on this earth. You better start living now, Billy. It was 20 degrees, January 2nd, and I'm sitting there by that grave in the cold wind with the tears just coming down over and over and over. Wipe them away, and they just kept coming. And this voice on the inside of me kept saying, who are you gonna be, Billy? Who are you gonna be, Billy? Who you gonna decide to be, Billy? What do you wanna leave this world, Billy? What's gonna be your legacy, Billy? When you start taking those last short breaths like your daddy did, are you gonna be content with the way you lived? Are you gonna be proud and satisfied with what you left this world? Who do you wanna be, Billy? Who do you wanna be? I don't remember much about 2008. It was just one dark cloud. I had sunk into depression. I was blaming myself for my daddy dying. If I had to got him out of that bed in the nursing home and try to put him in that wheelchair, maybe he'd still be living today. The doctors tried to comfort me and tell me that it wasn't my fault, that that blood clot could have dislodged at any time, but I still blame myself. Only if I hadn't moved. Why did I have to move? I kept cycling those last 10 minutes of my dad's life over and over and over in my mind. Who do you want to be, Billy? Why did my daddy have to die? You better get to living, Billy. Why did I have to move? Stop running. Who do you want to be, Billy? The week I got back to Florida, I started going back to church. I'd come in and I'd sit on the back row with my back up against the wall so nobody could see me crying. Mom and Daddy didn't raise no quitter, but Lord, I'm shattered into a million pieces, and it's hard for me to fake it. That summer in 2008, I found out my grandfather had stomach cancer, and it was terminal. Up to this point, I hadn't talked to any counselors or therapists or any of that stuff about what was going on the inside of me, the guilt and the pain and all that stuff that I was cycling about my dad every single second of the day. And it was just stacking and stacking on the inside. And now I get this news about my granddaddy, who I'm also close with. I just couldn't deal with it. It was mental and emotional overload. I felt like I was submerged in darkness, suffocating on anticipation. I can't take another phone call. My mother would call me each day and update me on my grandfather. And as he progressively got worse, each day I got more nervous. Fear started coming over me. Anxiety started building up. I got to where I wouldn't even answer the phone because I was worried about what she was gonna say. See, in this uncontrollable situation, not answering my phone gave me a little sense of control. Because if I didn't answer the phone, I didn't have to hear the news. I could check the voicemail. And I could distance myself from reality and pretend it didn't happen. And I could put reality on hold. Reality waits for no one. When I checked the voicemail and heard the news, I got in my car,
to drive back home. I had about a 45-minute drive. And it was on this drive that I had my second panic attack. And this time I was alone in the car, by myself, 30 minutes away from home. The side effects from the trauma that I went through with my dad is now coming full bloom. And I'm thinking in this car that I'm about to die. Every second feels like an hour. I didn't know what to do, whether to pull over on the side of the road, drive straight to the hospital, to drive home to get my wife and then go to the hospital. All these things just kept cycling over and over in my mind. I'm gonna have a heart attack. I can't breathe. Just like my daddy, I couldn't breathe. I can't breathe. Just like you did, I can't breathe. I'm gonna die just like you. You had a stroke in the car. I'm gonna stroke right down this car. What's wrong with me? I don't wanna die alone. Please, Lord, help me. If you love me, Lord, please. Who do you want to be, Billy? My mother had asked me to be one of the pallbearers for my grandfather. I hadn't told her about the panic attack, because at that time I didn't even know it was a panic attack. I thought I was just having health problems. I'm terrified on the inside, thinking that I'm gonna die, and it could happen at any second. My dad taught me that it comes in the unexpected, so I've got to stay on guard. My mind has got to protect me now. Those last 10 minutes of my dad's life have now become a ghost that haunt me, and everybody knows you can't run from a ghost. But I don't want to burden or add stress to my mother, because she's trying to deal with the loss of my grandfather. And yes, I love my granddaddy. He was special to me, but I don't want to be anywhere near that funeral home. I'm doing everything I can to hide it and not be a burden to my mother. But I had a panic attack in the parking lot. I had a panic attack in the lobby. I had a panic attack in the bathroom. And I had a panic attack while I'm carrying the casket. It got so bad I almost had to let it go. I can't let my granddaddy's casket go. Good thing about funerals is everybody else is crying too. So I just sat in the back. Now I was slave to anxiety. That night I went to the emergency room. As I was waiting on the doctors to see me, I'm sitting in the chair, reliving those final 10 minutes of my dad's life. And I'm literally going crazy in my mind, cause you can't run from yourself. The unresolved emotions overcoming me. And this thing, whatever it is, this fear and all this stuff is in my mind, and I can't see any way out. It's just dark. I'm in a room, emergency room full of people, but I'm all alone because nobody can get in my mind and help me fight this battle. It's just me and the ghost. And that ghost is winning. And this is so foreign to me because I've never had any health issues. I've always been healthy. Facts mean nothing to my mind because right now, my mind is trying to protect me. It's what they call fight or flight. My subconscious mind is now taking over. It's got the wheel, and it's controlling what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and I can't do anything about it. I'm the type of person that has to have control of the situation, and right now I'm completely out of control. Who do you want to be, Billy? Stop asking me that. Can't you see what I'm going through? I can barely breathe. How do I fight a ghost? I can't go back and change it. Who do you want to be, Billy? Finally, this doctor comes and sees me. He's got this real calm and presence about himself, and he checked all my vitals and looked me over, and he finally said, "Son, there's nothing physically wrong with you. What you're experiencing is anxiety and panic attacks. I'm gonna write you a prescription, and when you get back to Florida, you go see a therapist."
Blessed and unstoppable. Success starts with putting the right things into your mind. And My new book, Blessed and Unstoppable, was strategically designed to align your mind with the laws of success. This curriculum will teach you the inner mechanics required to go from average to phenomenal. From living a life with limits to being blessed and unstoppable. As you follow this guide step by step, amazing breakthroughs will happen. New doors of opportunity will open, and favor will begin to chase you down. Blessed and Unstoppable is a 31-day devotional on the laws of success. This book will instigate the thought process and actions required to transform your life. Each day has a Bible verse, a teaching on that day's principle, a positive affirmation, a prayer for the day, self-assessment questions, success quotes, action steps, and a powerful inspirational message. Regardless of what field you're in, Blessed and Unstoppable is your blueprint for success. Get your copy at blessedandunstoppable.com. Also available on Amazon.